Hello everybody, checking out this video. This is my first one, and I'll be doing a review on the first episode of Juuni Taisen. I would like to get one thing out of the way as soon as possible before continuing. I like the ideas the show's presenting, and I like the style. I like the direction, and there is one thing that I want to focus on today. I'm going to be focusing on other things in the coming videos that I'm going to be doing for the other episodes, but the sound direction I think is a pretty big issue when it comes to this show. It tries to go for this very realistic sound with, like, you know, the room trying to be accounted for, something similar to what KyoAni was doing with Hibike Euphonium, but I don't think they did it as well because there wasn't an attention to detail, and there's some very rookie mistakes being done here. There's poorly timed sound effects. They're misusing the score, I think, at times. There's only one really big scene that I think that they didn't do it right. And the last thing would be that I feel like they actually put some sound effects that may not have actually been needed, or they were excessive, too much, you know. There is one scene in particular which I will be talking about. There might be others. I did not really watch the show with the most critical ears, but there were some moments that even with my casual viewing, I still noticed. So let me get right into some of these examples here. I'll try to be fast. Since I don't want copyright, I'm not going to have this like the sound effects play with the animation. I'm going to give you timestamps so that if you really want an example or to hear what I'm talking about, I implore you to give it a shot. I'm sure you're going to be pretty interested in this, if you're interested in what I'm talking about. So the first one would be, I'm going to be talking about the poorly timed sound effects. And I think that at 1 minute and 50 seconds, they try to go for this very ambient atmosphere. And they have her walking up a set of stairs. And the shot before this is timed fine. It's a fine sound effect. But there's a slight offset between the two shots. So it pushes the step off, and if you're paying attention like I was at the time, you'll feel it's out of sync. It doesn't look like what you're actually seeing. I think I actually did notice other instances of this in the episode, but for the sake of time, I just want to bring this on up. Next would be the misusage of the score. And I would say that looking back on that introduction scene, the score is great for it. It's tense and gloomy, and I think it really adds a lot to the scene. It makes it super, like, ominous, like what is going to happen, and I like that. I think that, in my opinion, what I would look at for this is at 12 minutes and 30 seconds, and it continues until 12 minutes and 53 seconds where the scene cuts to black. Where I think this scene could have been powerful, it could have been emotional, it could have sold you on what it was doing, because I think visually, I think in terms of the storyboard, I think it was really keeping up. I don't think that the soundtrack was up to par, or it's more apt to say, I don't think they used the right song, because other parts of the episode have very tense sounding pieces. So I don't know why you would play a very lukewarm sounding industrial piece that really doesn't suit this harsh, abrasive scene of this girl being broken by the fact that she has to kill for her family, where she doesn't want to do this. But I think that's a really good example of that. And now on to the last one, because I don't want to take too much time. I think that this is something you can make very concisely. It starts at 6 to 12, and it's the introduction of the war Usagi. not the Sailor Moon character. Had to sneak one joke in. So I think the first 3 sound effects in this scene are fine. There's a boom for the tension when they reveal one of the wars are already dead. Whoa, who would have thought that? Whoa, crazy. And then there's a sweep when they pan away to show you who the culprit is. And then, lastly, there's a sound when Usagi picks up his knife and points it at the camera as he pleads innocence. And on his knife is blood. But there is a sound that I want to call into question here that I do not think should have been used. In my personal opinion, I would have not used this sound. 622, they have a swish sound, which I think would have been more apt for when he picked it up. Because there's literally like almost no movement. He just kind of slides it very slightly. And I don't think that would be fitting for a scene like that. So yeah, to conclude, mistakes like these can make or break a series, and I think for a show that's going for such a grounded aesthetic, they can't mess these things up. I hope that Juuni Taisen fixes it myself. I love the show's idea. I like what the show's doing, and I want to see it do it perfectly. I can't look at the person who's doing this because the credits haven't been translated, so if that happens between this video and the second episode, I will guarantee you I will either comment here or bring it up in the next one. I hope that the show continues to deliver some pretty awesome action scenes that seem like they're going to be the norm for this show. Thanks for checking out this channel. I will be doing more videos like this one, so subscribe, leave some criticism, comment, discuss. I will respond, promise. Thank you, and now I have to go to class.